Hello there y'all, Rain here, and this is Fennec Fables. This video is going to be a follow-up to a prior video which hopefully will be popping up here in the right corner. You won't have to have watched that video, but it does explain the rules to the game being run in this story, and I do hope you'll give it a watch and share it with your friends. I happen to thought it was pretty nice. As a quick recap, I work as a friendly local game store manager, and on occasion I participate in charity events. Usually I come as a player, but for this event I ran a game as it was for a cause I felt quite passionate about. I'm happy to say we raised nearly $800 and I'm so glad to have been part of it. For this event, I decided to run a game called Heckin Good Doggos. In this game, the players are all playing as dogs with various skills, though in this version it was more closely aligned with reality. That game uses the +1 system, which has you manipulating dice rolls as part of the resolution mechanic, as well as having a standard deck of cards for changing things up in dire moments. For this game, I knew I'd end up having about 5 or so hours to play with, so I wanted something that the players could really get invested in, but would have a satisfactory ending. When I'm designing things that are on a bit of a time crunch, I try to lean into there being a few best options for folks to explore, but I don't hardline into it. Fortunately, Heckin Good Doggos is a narrative-focused game where it really leans into the players taking charge. I decided that the game I wanted to run would involve a local forest having a cave-like area being cleared out for a new RV park, and a bear that had set up a den there had been displaced. The players would not know exactly what was going on just yet though, as the big summer carnival was coming to town, and they were all so excited for that. As the players explored, they heard rumors that there had been vandalism to trash cans, dumpsters, and various fences, and that the carnival may not come for fear of property damage. So the players would be investigating so as to not disappoint their best friends. I had 3 players sign up for the game, but sadly one had to cancel day of, so I was running for a fantastic couple who really delved into the headspace of being a doggo, making their own PCs and making some hilarious personalities. I just love it when players get into character. They eventually discovered through their own play that it was a bear sneaking into town, and they would be making their way to the forest to try and track where he came from, to find out where he ended up. There, they ran into one of the members of a group of strays, being a very sneaky and flirtatious chihuahua I had called Gizmo, who was wearing a torn spike collar like a scarf. This chihuahua ended up being someone one of the players knew, and that the chihuahua had a crush on. The players pressed him for details after a little verbal sparring, and got the information about Bubba, the displaced bear. He told them Bubba had a penchant for disco and had torn apart the demo RV that had been dropped into the lot. When they went to inspect it, they found it shredded like paper, with the mattress from the back clearly gone, and signs that had been dragged and moved further into town. They suspected he was looking for food as he had been ousted by the other bears, which I'll come back to. One of the players very smartly asked if she could try and get a lock on Bubba's scent, which I set a target number for, and she succeeded very well. So I said that she had won permanent success on any tracking checks for him for the next day, as the scent remained strong. Excited with their cleverness, they realized that the day was getting late and they had to head back to town or risk concerning their best friends. After returning home and having a bit of fun moments with their best friends, which involved an older lady putting on red rain booties to one, whom then tore them off immediately into shreds and had to cute her way out of punishment in the morning, and the other getting an impromptu outside bath from their college student best friend, drunkenly washing them with the hose. And then they ate Del Tacos. Well, I should say the dog did, as he ate them all out of retribution for the bath. The next morning, Gizmo came back telling one of the players that their group had it handled, and ran off into the hedge as the players realized that those idiots were going to make a mess of it. As they made their way to finish tracking down Bubba from the scent trail they had captured earlier, they got a ride from a friendly mailman using one of their I Help buys. Which, for those that hadn't watched the rules video, is an attribute the dogs get to pick at PC creation that allows them to manipulate a scene in accordance with a phrase they chose. As they made it into town, the mailman parked to deliver something, and this is where they wanted to be, so they very cleverly opened the door of the mail truck, but accidentally left it open. This led to a kid stealing the mailman's wallet and them deciding to pause their mission to retrieve it. They followed the kid, who crawled through his home's first floor window, to which one of them jumped through to land on the kid, snagging the wallet, discovering a milk crate full of them. At the same time, this also terrified the two other teenagers in the room, one scrambling under the desk he was playing League at, and the other trying to brandish a beat-up guitar. The two doggos worked together to secure the crate, running past these kids who were freaking out towards the front of the house. When they made it to the living room, they heard a mom with a thick Jersey accent shouting at her TV, and then freaking out when she saw the dog running through with the crate. As they went past her, she realized her kid was stealing again, and it also turns out that the mom was mad her kid didn't cut her into the action. The mother took swings at the dog with her own purse, trying to reclaim that which they had rightfully stolen, which, after a few good dodges or two, they were able to bite onto this purse and take it with them as well. They then went back, returning the stolen wallets to the mailman, who had a policeman waiting, and using some clever skill checks, conveyed that the purse that they had also taken with them was from the one who was stealing all the wallets. Turns out, it was coincidentally the mailman's new girlfriend. They had a short convo with the bookshop's cat through the window and returned to their mission, where they went to the old warehouse area of town and discovered an injured Gizmo, who was the other Stray Dogs group scout. Their leader had sent in Gizmo, who had gotten noticed and snapped up by the bear's maw, but his scarf spike collar saved him as it poked the bear's mouth and let him slip through enough to run away terrified. The players dug into the leader when they discovered that he didn't even come along to keep him safe, eventually leaving him cowering, and borrowed his two remaining pack members, a delightful pair who are all too happy to help. While Gizmo was left behind to recover, working together with the other dogs, they discovered Bubba had taken refuge in what was an improvised rave building and had gotten into some illicit substances that had been left behind. The bear was now on the top floor on a pile of couch cushions and beds that had all been pushed together. The dogs figured out how to work the decrepit old elevator, got into the top floor, just in time to see Bubba charging at the very noisy elevator, screaming at them. At which point they then remembered, oh yeah, Bubba likes disco. So they all began singing Staying Alive, trying to calm him down from a very bad trip, which worked. After getting him worked down from his bad high, they then found him some long forgotten pallets of a never released Dorito flavor for him to chow down on, while they figured out how to get him back to the woods. As they talked with Bubba, it turns out that part of the reason he was ousted is that the other lady bears didn't like him because he didn't know how to respect them. So after some life lessons from these dogs, they were prepared to do a Hail Mary. They attempted to disguise him using a tarp and tires to look like a poor kid's college prank version of a car, long enough to get him to the mail depot, to then get him inside a mail truck, and through the power of cute, get the driver to take them to the woods, where they got him out of the truck discreetly, as the poor mailman cries and laments about losing his girlfriend, who was then arrested prior, as you remember, because her son stole his wallet. They walked Bubba into the woods, and as they did, they gave him one last little discussion about how to treat women with respect, and then wingmanned the heck out of this guy. I mean, full-on proper Casanova stuff. They were singing Kiss the Girl while giving him berries they took off of bushes and hooking him up with the lady bears. We ended the session with the carnival saved, and later the next year, a boom in local bear births being reported by the wildlife rangers, as apparently Bubba just hooked up with all of them. This left the players laughing in fits and starts as it was quite the wild ending to the game. The players had a blast, and up till the end were playing rather close to real-world logic, so I don't begrudge them having a little bit of a wacky ending. It was a good time for all and was an amazing one-shot in my opinion. Definitely reminds me of the time I played Honey Heist for sure. Overall, I think Heckin Good Doggos is a real fun game to play, and while I wouldn't have it as a full-fledged long-term campaign, I can definitely see it making a table quite happy for a series of one-shots or even a mini campaign. But with that, what about y'all? Have you ever played Heckin Good Doggos or another +1 system? What are your thoughts on it? I'd love for y'all to go down in the comments below and begin sharing your own experiences, either with that game or some other wacky things that you've played a one-shot in. If you can, a like, a share, or especially a subscribe really helps as I work on getting more of these videos out. I've been working on my way to get to 500 subscribers, and each new one is a great joy to me. If you enjoy answering TTRPG prompts or questions, please join me on Twitter or Blue Sky, where I post daily, which is in the description down below and linked on the main channel page. Who knows, your responses may be part of a future video. If you have any suggestions for future topics, I'm always interested in what folks would like to hear, and you can send them either by email or by joining the channel Discord, where you can chat with me as well as some other fellow cool people. Thanks again, y'all, and I hope these ideas were useful to you and help you tell better tales. Fair tales, that is. Till then, bye. Hey there, y'all. Editing Rain here. I actually totally forgot to bring this up. If you check it out, we now have a merch channel. Well, merch Etsy. But I've got some really cool new stickers up. Hopefully you guys will enjoy them. Check them out. They should be popping up on the screen right now. And I'm currently working on getting some more awesome artists paid and commissioned to do more awesome things. If it does well, I'm even hoping to do some shirts and maybe even some pins. So if you're interested, the link should be down below. Please check it out, share it with your friends. It really does help me out. But yeah, that's Editing Rain done. Have a great day, guys. Bye.